Welcome back to Nail Babe Pod, a podcast dedicated to interviewing the nail babes of the nail world. I'm Abe, the nail babe. This week, my nail babe is Bug from Bug Nails. He's an incredible nail artist. He's known for creating all sorts of tiny things and putting them on his nails. So without any further ado, lotion your hands and oil those cuticles and welcome Bug to the pod. Well, I'm so excited to welcome Jimmy, also known as Bug Nails on Instagram.
Thank you. Hi, thanks.
Okay, literally obsessed with your nails, with your account.
Thank you.
Longtime fan.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I feel like you've really gone crazy recently. Do you feel that?
Little, yeah, I've kind of become a little more unhinged as the days go by.
Honestly, same. But crazy in the best ways, honestly. Just doing the most. I mean, if people don't know, please look up while you're listening Bug Nails. You just have to see this to understand what we're talking about.
Anything goes.
Literally taking the medium to the next level. Literally every time you post, I send to my nail friends, I'm like, what look at this. What's going on? How? Every single time. So not to gas you up too much, but I imagine it's a struggle to one up yourself. I don't know if you think about that or you're just I'm doing my thing.
It's a little of both. I do sometimes try to go as crazy as I can on purpose, because that's kind of what gets the most reactions and makes people start a conversation and get even frustrated in the comments sometimes. So that's kind of fun for me. I do like to really push the envelope and see what happens.
Exactly. I feel like I don't get that much, although my spiderweb nails, I don't know if you've been seeing my posts about these comments, people are upset.
Really?
So upset. They're you're destroying animal homes, and I'm a spiderweb, first of all, is not a home.
No, yeah.
And I'm
and there's a bajillion of them.
If it was in your room, you'd clean it.
Right. I don't think there's any shortage of spiders or their webs either. So
and I looked it up too, because I was wait, I was actually what's happening? This type of web, first of all, was abandoned. Now I'm just on my soapbox. And this type of spider rebuilds their web every day and takes down their own web, and it takes them 30 minutes to make a web. So I'm guys,
you were just helping it in its process.
Somebody responded and they were what about all the flies' lives that you saved? I was literally. You put a tick into a nail tip once, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Were people mad about that?
People were a little mad about it, and they were also surprisingly just as angry as I was that I had to take the tick off my dog in the first place. People were commenting saying things like, "Oh my God, I love to burn ticks," and "Oh my God, I do that too. I put them in a little bottle of alcohol and watch them drown." And I'm okay, good for you. I wasn't expecting all that, but yeah, that was an interesting outpour.
I guess people like spiders, but I wasn't killing any spiders anyway. That's not what we're here to talk about. No, we're here to talk about bug nails. I mean, the connection. What am I just now realizing? Bug. Where did Bug come from? Bug nails.
My nickname has just sort of been Bug since I was a baby. My mom, I'm pretty sure, was probably the first person to call me that, and it stuck. It was also something that I really leaned on, in the beginning of my sort of gender journey, figuring out what I was and everything, and changed my name and whatnot. Before I officially settled on that, I really, really leaned into Bug for a long time and really tried to own that. So yeah.
I like that. I like that name. I feel it's a Bug. It's cute.
Yeah. It's special to me. It's near and dear.
So I like to have people do their Sparknotes versions of how they went into nail polish.
Okay.
I give an example of simply nailogical, COVID boredom, and self-expression.
Mm-hmm. I didn't ever really do it much when I was a little kid, but I think I want to say when I was 19 or 20, I was just sort of at home a lot and bored and tried it out. And it was fun, just starting out painting my nails blank basic colors or whatever. I've got that gay audacity and the ADHD urge to pick up anything and just do it as best as I possibly can, and just think if I like something, I'm gonna do it. So miniatures were always really my favorite kind of art form, making things as tiny as I could. So nails and that sort of went hand in hand. Once I realized that I could make things that super tiny to go on my nails, I just had to do it as many things as I could.
Oh, okay, yeah, because you've definitely Like you post like tiny miniature, you've made like tiny every time you post it's like smaller and smaller like nail polish bottles and like all sorts of
Yeah,
things.
I just love making things tiny. I don't know exactly why. It's just really satisfying to me.
It's cute.
Thank you.
What is like okay, so then you were making like miniatures, other stuff? Like what was that? Like what did that look like?
I kind of always fiddled around making miniature things. Like I made like this little bookshelf for my wife one year for Christmas that's like this big and it has like little tiny books on it and stuff. And I don't know, that's just what I gravitate toward.
What like materials do you use?
A lot of the stuff that I make with like nail polish and gel, like polygel and stuff like that. I use toothpicks as the base, like my tiny little nail polish bottles, the caps and the tubes inside them are like just the very tiny tips of a toothpick. It's like miniature lumber, basically. Rubber erasers, I also use a lot and like carve them with X-Acto knives to like start a basic shape, like an armature for something, and then sculpt around it with nail polish. Nail polish just honestly became like the medium that I was most comfortable with. Like, I don't have a lot of glue or things like that. I just use like rhinestone glue, like the curing kind, just because that's what I have a lot of. It's everywhere in my room, and I know how to use it. So
You're talking about like an armature. I'm like, that's very like art word, right? Of like, did you go to art school or like have that experience?
I tried. I did online schooling and I took like a couple of semesters and just didn't like it. And then right
Mm,
before that, I did community college, a little bit online and a little bit in person. And again, just did not like it. It's not for me. I can't sit still in a classroom. I can't focus on things. It's just not my jam.
yeah. Also online, I feel like is just like a whole another level. Also, especially like art, I feel like is not really an online suitable.
Yeah, it was frustrating. My heart wasn't in it. So now I owe a lot
Yeah.
of money anyway. Ah, let's not have
Same.
that conversation.
Yeah.
Uh,
Anyway, I'm gonna
yeah,
cut all of that out because I don't need to remind people of loans.
yes. We'll just bleep it.
What was your first connection to art or sculpture?
I used to draw like a lot more charcoal or pencil on paper. That was probably the biggest thing. I was definitely like the horse kid who would just draw horses over and over again, or like a single eyeball. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm,
But I know that whenever I've been given just like the freedom to do whatever, that's when I'm happiest.
yeah. I don't know. For me, I do like the freedom, but sometimes the freedom is like overwhelming when it's just like, I guess that's like the blank page theory. Is that a theory? I don't know. Where like, it's like the possibilities are endless and you're like, I don't know what to do. Like having like
Right.
I don't know, maybe the tiny thing also like, that's like a very like limitation, right? Of like how to do it is like half the battle.
Yeah, like I have to kind of start with a starting point, thinking of like if I'm going to make a tiny nail polish bottle and I'm looking at the materials that I have. When I saw the toothpick or whatever for the first time, I can kind of visualize it and think, oh, that looks like it could be the cap. Then I would work around that. Finding the starting point is important. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you can like scale it to the object. It was funny also
Yeah.
you were like saying you use like rhinestone glue. My dad, he like I guess nicked his tire, like the rim, and he was like, "Do you?" They were like going on a trip, and he's like, "Do you have anything?" Like, so I literally painted his like rims with like a silver
Yep.
gel polish that I had.
Hell yeah.
So I was like, "This is." I was like, "See, aren't you glad I paint my nails now, Dad?"
Exactly.
I was like, "I have 10 options that'll match perfectly. Like, which one you want?"
Hmm. I'm always thinking colors. Yep.
So then, where did the Instagram come in? When did you create that?
I want to say it's been like 6 or 7 years, maybe.
Oh.
It was a big jump out of my comfort zone for me. A lot of things are, to be honest, but it was a matter of a bunch of people telling me over and over again, like, have you heard of Instagram? Have you done this before? It's like so cool. Like, everybody's going to tell you you're amazing and you're going to love it and they're going to love you. And I was always like, I, I don't know. I don't want to. It seems like a lot of work. It seems like a lot of effort and I don't have a lot of energy.
My internal monologue all the time.
Yeah. I don't know. I went for it. And it was really slow going at first, but it kind of picked up after a while. And once I started feeling the love more, like the people were telling me that I was going to, I stuck with it. And I'm glad I did. I never really expected it to kind of snowball like it did in the past couple of years. So that's funky.
Do you remember your like first thing that you like did outside of just like painting your nails, like a nail art? Like the first thing that was like kind of outside the box.
Probably one of the earlier things that I was really excited about was this little like pumpkin bug that I made. Here we go again with the bug nails. Do you know Dimension Nails?
Love them, yes.
She's got a polish called Pumpkin Bug, and it's really cute, black, sparkly with like green and orange sparkly glitter in it. And I made a little pumpkin bug. They're like stink bugs, but he's a little green guy, and he's got little antenna, and he's got like all his legs and everything. The legs are made out of thread, like sewing thread that I like painted the gel polish onto, so they're really spindly and leggy looking. Yeah, I love that little dude. He's somewhere in my peely jar somewhere.
How did you like know to do that? You like had you seen other people like doing that with because you were using gel?
Yeah, I sculpted that one out of gel and then painted it. That one I actually painted with regular like lacquer nail polish. Yeah. I don't know. I really don't. I get an idea and then I just start trying it and then I make it look like what I want it to look like.
Do you like tests before you film a video or you're just like mostly going for it?
Sometimes I do. And like with the making little things like that or some of the more intricate manis that I've done, I can't be bothered to film all of it. Like sometimes you'll see me just post something that's just like, look, here's the pictures, and then look, here's a video of it so you can see it moving, but I'm not ever going to show you how I made it because that would take me like 10 years of stressing and filming and editing, and I sound terrible. Sorry, but can't handle all that.
Oh. Because like literally I told a friend that I was like, I'm gonna have Bug on the Jimmy on the podcast. And they're like, can you please tell him like we need them on YouTube? Like we need them to make a YouTube channel because like you would do so great on YouTube. I feel like it would have the like I know it's like this is literally the same thing of like everyone telling you to get on Instagram. Like now everyone's telling you to get on YouTube.
I know.
You have the
Yeah.
like clickbait fantastical nails that like actually you're doing it. So it's just like also I just feel like it'd be so entertaining. Like selfishly, I'm like, I want to watch you do this. Like the whole all the details, like everything.
It would take probably a lot more convincing. It's just I just don't see myself doing it. I can't do TikTok either. Like I'm not even there yet, if at all.
What is it about it that
It just the thought of it seems like adding another step to my daily posting or whatever. Like now I have to go over there and post it, and the posting is maybe a little different. I don't even know. I don't go on there at all. Yeah, I don't know. It just
I
seems
feel
like more work.
that.
Yeah.
But like also I post weekdays on
Mhm.
Instagram and then like TikTok maybe like once or twice a week. Like I've taken the bar down that it feels more approachable to me. And also
Yeah.
same with like YouTube shorts now. Like I'm trying to get into YouTube shorts. That was like one of my goals. I was like, I want to do YouTube because I love that's like one of my three things that got me into nail polish was like YouTube, watching YouTube. I post the same thing on YouTube as I post on Instagram. Like it's just like literally upload the same thing anyway.
Not really a goal that I have right now.
I wanted to talk about too. I noticed like you like post a photo and then like a real dance. What do you call it?
Just like an action shot.
Action shot. And then you'll do like a tutorial sometimes. Like, would you have like a strategy for your Instagram or you're just kind of like, I feel like, is it just the more complicated a look is, the more posts it gets? Because you're like, I spent a week on that. Like, let me, like, what is the like mindset behind that?
There's really not a whole lot of strategy or planning whatsoever. I'm just a guy doing what I can. I don't know. I if I have like an obligation, like if
Mm.
there's a brand deal that I'm involved with where I have to post on a certain day or something, then obviously that'll get taken care of. But otherwise, I just fly by the seat of my pants and whatever happens, happens. I try to post like my personal favorite things that I like am really proud of and want to do well on the days that are supposedly good for posting on Instagram. Like I guess Wednesdays and Thursdays I've heard are really good. And generally it does seem to work. And like you said, using the like trending audios and things like that. Yeah. But that's really the only strategy that I have. Otherwise I just kind of post whatever I've got going on,
Mm.
whatever's available in the camera roll.
What do you find that does the best out of those? Like a photo or like an action shot or like a tutorial? It's the same look, but
Yeah.
like different medium of like interaction with people. Like, do you see one that like consistently
Right.
gets more interaction or like play than the other ones?
I think it seems pretty consistent that just regular photograph posts, like the carousel posts, generally do better, which is a little frustrating, honestly, how, we're kind of putting in so much effort to like edit out these cool reels or like make a satisfying looking tutorial video. And I don't know exactly why, but they don't seem to spread as far. They don't get as much attention or engagement. But like I've had several successful photograph posts, even if it's just one picture, like not even anything to scroll through, go crazy, like really quickly.
Do you normally post the photo first before the tutorial?
I do normally, and I've also tried it the other way because I've had the thought too, like maybe what if I post the reel first, see what happens? And yeah, it doesn't seem to matter.
Okay. Because I'm like, I don't post photos really. I'm like, I just post videos because that's what I like, so that's what I post. Same with like sounds like what you do.
Yeah,
Maybe I should post a carousel.
give it a shot. Maybe one of the things that people like about that is that it's right there. It's done. You look at it, it's in your eyeballs, bite-sized picture right there. That's it. You consumed it, you saw it, you're good. But with a video, you have to like hopefully hook them and, hope that they continue watching and enjoy the whole thing or whatever.
Yeah, I feel like especially for your type of nails or nail art, there's a lot of detail. So like a photo actually can hook somebody and like keep them there while they like take in new details the longer they look at it. Whereas like some of the things I do, I think more about the video as the final product rather than the final manicure as the final product.
That makes
If that
sense.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. Do you make that distinction in your mind or like post rationalizing? Do you have that?
a little bit. I think maybe this is similar. Sometimes I do sort of think in terms of videos. Like if I get an idea for a certain project or sculpture or whatever, my brain will sometimes automatically start thinking, okay, how is it going to look when I show it? When I take the final shots or whatever. And sometimes things come along with that, like a little handy dance or something, a transition or something that would make it more visually appealing, like it goes along with the whole vibe of the project.
From my perspective, it seems like your looks are more focused on the like final image or like the final like holistic look, would you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Going back to like my my spider web nails, like that was about the process or like that like image of like spraying the spider web and like putting my nails into it. Like
Yeah.
actually ASOS reposted that video like last weekend. I think they posted it on Friday and then it got like 2 million views and people were
Wow.
so mad. ASOS deleted it on Monday when the like
Oh my.
media person came back to work on Monday. They were
Oh,
like, "Oh my god!" Like, because like everyone's like, "ASOS, you need to delete this. Like, who's running this account? Like, this is terrible. Like, why are you like promoting like harming animals?" Which, like, again,
oh
no
my
animals were
God.
harmed. But like,
Wow.
I was gonna say, people would be like, "This is all that work for like such an ugly nail look that you could like achieve with other things that would look better." And I'm like, "Yeah, I agree. It doesn't look great. Like, I agree. It was not like my most beautiful manicure. Like, it was the idea, the
It
like
was
the
the journey.
technique."
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I feel you.
Which
I
is
feel
like
you.
thinking in video rather than like final product.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whereas like I would not post a photo of that manicure.
I liked it. I thought it was very pretty.
Can you take us through like your typical design process, maybe using the teeth one and
Yeah.
like the bloody gums and teeth?
Hmm.
Where did you start with that idea? Like how did that pop into your head? How like did you take that and like transition it to nails, like thinking about materials, thinking about the video, thinking about the photo, like how does your mind work when you try to like come up with something new?
Yeah. That one was another good example of like, if I'm gonna go do something, I'm gonna go big or go home. It won't just be realistic teeth. It's going to be like gingivitis ridden, gross, creepy, bleeding, realistic looking teeth that people are going to get upset about. That is where my starting point was for that. Just getting the general idea, thinking that I knew I wanted to make it look gross.
Okay, so you have gross teeth. Like this is your mission. Like what is your first step? Like what's happening next?
I guess I would have started thinking about the materials that I'd be using to make it. I knew that I would have to make the teeth because I just like don't have teeth lying around. So I had to make the little teeth.
Probably better that you made it because I feel like people
Y-
would be even more upset if you like although like
Are those
baby
real
teeth.
teeth? Oh no. Yeah.
I mean like I feel like my mom has like should I put baby teeth on my nails?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Wait, so what materials did you use?
The teeth were made out of like 3D gels, like sculpting gels, and they're already pre-colored. And I just happened to have one that was that like ivory tooth color. I didn't even mix that one. Like for the doll face that I recently did, I had to like mix three different colors of that same stuff to get sort of like a flesh tone that matched my skin to kind of like
Mm.
blend in and make it look doll-like.
Is it like a Play-Doh? Like, what is the? I've never tried it.
It's kind of like the consistency of Play-Doh almost, yeah. And I know it's best to use gloves when like working with it. It's convenient. It's one of the things that I reach for most often.
And it just like stays in place. It doesn't like move around that much.
No, the consistency is like really thick and putty like, and then once you cure it, it's like rock hard. It's just solid. You can file it too. So like if the thing that I've sculpted is not just exactly as I wanted it, I can cure it and then sand it, buff it, change it a little bit. Yeah.
Is it not like uncured in the middle?
If you make something that's like a little too thick, then it probably will not cure fully all the way. But generally, I'm making things so small that they're not going to get that thick. Each of the teeth was sculpted separately and cured individually. And then the gums part of it was like clear stuff, same general kind of product, but the consistency is a little bit softer. I used the see-through one because another one of those thinking ahead in video moments. I was thinking that it would look really cool to show in the tutorial video for that one, like pressing the teeth into the clear gums, you know? So that's like my favorite moment from that video.
Is it tacky or do you need to like make a top coat? Like, is there a dispersion layer?
No, on the
Oh,
clay stuff, no.
yeah.
It
Oh,
just dries like, or cures like firm and dry.
are you like looking at like reference photos when you're doing this?
Not really.
Oh,
I generally will start with lighter shades and work up into deeper or bolder shades, darker shades. A lot of the painting actually is helped along by the sculpting. If I add a lot of textures, if I like texturize the sculpture before I cure it, adding veins and details and stuff within the clay, then when you paint gel on top of that, it kind of sinks into the cracks and shows up in different ways. Like, does that make sense?
yeah, for sure. Okay, that's smart. That's cool. I like that. Because then also you're leveraging those like qualities
Yeah.
of the product. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Smart. Okay. See, this is why you're the expert.
For me, it's all that I'm just trying to find like the easiest way to do something. It's like cutting corners, honestly. If I can find a way to make something look cooler by cutting a few corners, then I'm gonna do it. It's a lot of illusions and smoke and mirrors that I pull.
Like that's what like that saying where it's like give a task to a lazy person because they're gonna find the easiest way to do it.
Right.
What was the client's response when you like sent them these bloody teeth?
They were pleased. They got like the pretty standard, like, great, thank you so much.
Did
Yeah.
they post it on their page?
They did. Yeah. I don't think they posted it on Instagram actually. They just posted it on their like Facebook page.
Were you looking at the people's like comments and things?
Yes, most of the comments on the Facebook were just like, ew, why would you do that? What the hell is that? That's a pass on the gingivitis for me. Thanks. Like
Do you get a lot of like comments like that in general on your videos?
on the more like creepy ones like that, yes. And again, I greatly appreciate it. It's like super fun to see how worked up people can get sometimes.
Well, I guess that's like the ultimate compliment if they're like so
Yeah,
convinced that these are like bloody teeth.
yeah,
So that's nice.
yeah. A reaction is a reaction.
It's all engagement.
That's exactly right. I'll take.
What do you think is the one that got people to worked up the most?
Oddly enough, my little Christmas treats I made last year for last Christmas, I made a bunch of little teeny tiny out of that same gel stuff, like gingerbread men and cookies and little candies and things. And then I put on a big long set of nails and just painted them like blank sparkly colors on the front. And then behind the nails, underneath, I put all the little tiny treats. And I just thought that was cute. I just thought like this is fun and outside the box. And oh, look, it's pretty. But then, ooh, look at that. Surprise, surprise. I was excited, and people lost their minds going over the whole classic, like, one, how do you wipe your butt, of course, and two, how are there so many germs? Like, how are you gonna like live your life? You're gonna like get sick all the time and stuff. And I was just, I don't know what to tell you. It's just for the picture. It's just for art. Like most of the time, I don't wear these out of my house. um,
That
yeah,
too. I'm like, do people like people don't realize that I'm just doing like we're just doing this for like online. We're not like actually
right,
living 24/7 with these nails.
right. Like they're painted, sure, but you're not gonna see me having like huge things hanging off of them when I'm just like going to get my wife from work.
I remember those Christmas nails. Those were iconic. Also, why what is it with people asking how to like wipe your ass? Like I don't what do people think you do? Like take your nails and just like I'm like what are you imagining? Like how do you I don't know how you do it. I'm like
Yeah,
to the
I
other
want to know how
person.
they do it. That
Yeah, I'm
they're
like
wondering. Yikes.
because I used to have longer nails, like pretty long.
Yeah. Are they both the same?
No, this one's a little bit
No.
longer than my dominant hand. I shortened those.
Yeah.
Do you have
Mine
different?
very different.
It's kind of fun though.
This hand looks like this, so that this hand can look like this. It's
Exactly.
like it's a give and take.
I feel like also part of me, because normally I do wear nail polish. Right now I'm naked, but I'll leave this hand blank. And I don't know. I'm like, I kind of like that I don't have that one because I feel like sometimes I'll like just keep this one in my pocket and be like, this one's a normal hand. Like it's not like
Yeah.
I don't have to be like so eye catching or like screaming to the world, like, look at me, I'm different.
Yeah. I definitely need to have the one hand completely like clean and free of all polish or anything. One, just because I'm like using them constantly. I need a tool hand to like do stuff with. And then even just trying to like acetone the other nails, you're going to get it on this one and mess them up anyway. So it's just not something I do anymore.
I am curious about like how it was because I feel like nail polish is like traditionally a feminine perceived thing.
Yeah. Everybody's different. Everybody's got their own journey. For
Yeah.
me, I kind of was discovering my gender around the same time that I started painting my nails regularly, around like 19 or 20, like I said. In the beginning, I kind of started out feeling like this is going to sound funny. I didn't really know. Like, I went like on a back and forth. A lot of people do this in the queer community in general with our like coming out stories and everything. It's not always linear, it's not
Mm.
always like definite. So I definitely started out kind of feeling like I just don't know what I am. I don't really know like gender wise who I am or what I want to say I'm presenting as or anything like that. I just knew that I like kind of everything. So I tried labels in the beginning and tried to just kind of go with like a gender fluidity, like some of this, some of that, a little of all of it was kind of how I was feeling. And then I started painting my nails, liked it a lot, but in the beginning, it kind of gave me a lot of dysphoria. I'd go out in public and put the pretty hand in my pocket and like hide that one because I didn't want to be like flashy, you know? But it also still stood as like an anchor as that part of me that I didn't want to like see disappear.
I think that makes sense. I think that that's also
Okay.
nice to like I like that too of just like, no, this is still part of me. It's funny because like I'm just like, oh, I just like painting my nails. Like it doesn't that was not really like a big part of me trying to like figure out my gender, my sexuality, my queerness. But like it somehow like turned into that. So it's funny that I'm like now asking you about it because I'm like, for me, it was just like, I don't know, I just liked it. Like that was not like such a big thing. But I think in painting my nails, it kind of, especially in my family, we're very like, don't talk about it. We're just like,
Mhm.
I like came out and we're like, okay, like they just didn't know what to say or like didn't know how to talk about it. So it was just like, we won't, which like
Yeah.
in hindsight is like, was not great, obviously, because it made it seem like it was wrong.
Right.
So then when I started painting my nails, it was in my eyes like a very clear distinction of like, I am different. Like I am doing something that's not like
Yeah.
in the traditional cis gender roles. So
Hmm.
like then it kind of like I felt pushed my like sexuality or like my difference into
Yeah.
more of like an obvious state. So then then I started thinking more about like my gender or like my like sexuality as it relates to nails, which like I don't think the nails itself is the thing that like affects it. It's more like other people's reaction, I guess, or like
Yeah.
society's labels on like what nail polish is or like what it should mean. It's just like I don't know. It's very like It is confusing, and I try not to I try not to let other people affect the way I present myself or like live or, paint my nails. But like
Right.
sometimes I do because it's just that like deep-seated self homophobia. Not, whatever, we all have our
Yeah.
trauma.
Yes. Yeah.
But so then what was that process? You were like, okay, I like doing this, so like that's what's gonna happen. Like it was not like that much thought into it.
Yeah. No, not really. It was mostly like a brief moment of internal struggle with myself, like you said, with our past, our trauma, whatever we're kind of feeling about ourselves or going through at any point, culminating into being unsure of if we really want to be presenting this way or doing this or acting this way or whatever. And yeah, I wear whatever I want and I do whatever I want to my nails and I'm still me.
It makes me so happy. Honestly, the nails, I like just like that's also weird that I'm not wearing anything because like sometimes I just like look down and I'm like, I like that. Like it just makes me happy.
Yeah, me too. It genuinely makes me happy. And I'm like a big fidgeter. I'm neurodivergent, super just all the time, like messing around. I have like my putty here so I don't lose my mind. Yeah, I'm like always just like rubbing my nails and looking at them and just staring at like, oh, yeah, everything about it.
Also like having like a little like cuticle oil and like having
Yeah,
that like I just feel like it's nice to have that little like
yeah.
thing.
It's
Like
major
pamper.
self-care.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which like also I feel like for like cishet men, like that's non-existent. So I'm just like
Right, right.
I'm like, at least I have something.
Hmm.
A lot of like companies will be like, I think they're better now about being like, ladies, like let's paint our nails and like all that kind of stuff. But like, I guess it never bothered me that much. I guess I just assume that it's like, yeah, like traditionally, like women would paint their nails. Like it would not like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't, I just think it's stupid, is what I
It
think. Like it's not
it
like,
is stupid.
I'm not like offended. I don't know how you feel about that.
I used to take a lot more offense to it when I was in the beginning of my transition and still a lot more fragile. A lot of people still probably would like it's just not good. Like just don't do it. Whether or not it's something that like hurts you personally, it's just not a good thing. I'm not blaming you, but it's just like it's so much easier to just say y'all or people or friends or anything than anything else. And then you're not bothering anybody. That's just easy.
It does like, I feel like I do get like a pit in my stomach when I see something like that. It's like, oh, like, wait, what was that?
I used to get a lot more offended by it. And I would get heated and have to like feel the need to comment back and be like, actually, I'm a boy. Like, please don't say that. And every once in a while, I still will say something along those lines. But for the most part, I just ignore it, move on. It's not like a big battle that needs to be had every time, you know?
Yeah, no, definitely people comment on my videos and they're like, why is this woman needs a wax? And I'm like, what are we doing? Like, first of all, like women also have hair. Like we all have
Yeah.
hair.
Yes.
Like, humans, for the most part, have hair. And then I'm just like, but then why are like it's again going back to like those stereotypes. It's just I'm like, can we stop doing this? Like let's also why are people commenting? It's just like don't. But
Energy.
yeah. Do you get like comments on the nails at all?
In person, do people, is that what you meant?
Yeah.
Sometimes, like in the drive-through, I will get just the pleasant little smile and be like, "Oh, I like your nails." And I only recently started saying, "Thanks, I did them myself." So that's
What
a
did you
nice
used to
feeling.
say? Just be like,
Ah! No, I would just like say thanks and move on,
yeah.
but then I started realizing like I should own it more and be more proud of it and like it's not conceited just to say that I made it myself. I don't know.
It's the
Just
facts.
just trying to be nicer to myself in little
Mm.
ways.
Yeah, I feel like it is hard to like acknowledge your strengths. I know like I feel like I try to not do that, but it's like no, like we put a lot of work into our nails. Like
Yeah.
we should be recognized for it.
Yes.
So I am glad that you post online because we all get to enjoy your nails.
Thank you. I'm glad. I'm glad too. I appreciate you.
What has been your favorite look
Oh gosh.
or a
Of all,
favorite? Doesn't have to be the favorite.
oh my gosh. Well, the first thing that comes to mind is a Halloween one that I did last year or maybe even the year before, where I just painted just a picture of Alec Baldwin's butt from Beetlejuice. So like
I'll have to pull it up.
yeah, it's just like him his khaki pants basically just like squatting over a little bit, but like just the butt. So it was the star of the show.
In Beetlejuice? I don't remember that part. I'll have to rewatch it.
Uh,
What is your most viral? Do you know?
I think it would be those Christmas ones that I said earlier, or maybe the little organs that I made, the gummy bear.
Gummy bears?
Yeah,
It was such a
that was
cute
actually
idea.
that was one of the ones that I was not expecting to go that crazy. I just thought, go cute, sparkly gummy bears, and here's an interesting, fun way to do it. And it looked kind of satisfying, I guess, but people loved it.
It was also nice because it was like actually doable. Whereas like literally a lot of your recent ones are like like there's just like it's so satisfying and interesting to look at, but I'm like, no one else can achieve this. And that's not the point, obviously. Where do you find inspiration? Is there a place? Is there a
Every which way. I don't
yeah?
know. Yeah, kind of
Do you ever
everywhere.
have times where you're like, I don't know what to do? Like I just like if you're sitting
Yeah,
if you had to make something right now at your nail desk, like what would you do right now?
I would probably just paint my nails another solid color because that generally kind of gets me going.
Okay.
That is something I do. That's a tactic that I have when I have gone a couple of days without doing my nails and I'm like, okay, I should probably do something. I'll pick a pretty nude or just like a really simple, nice sheer. I love sheers and nudes and paint my nails so that they just look really pretty. And then looking at that makes me kind of go, okay, all right, now I want to add this. Now I want to do something else. So
I feel like that is a good tip. And like I know like I have to like force myself to like sit down at my nail desk sometimes. But like once I take off my last manicure and like do the nail prep, then I'm like, oh, like now I'm kind of like now I want to do something. Like
yeah,
once I'm in
yeah,
it, like then it's like easier to keep going.
definitely.
But like getting there. Do you have any rituals or like routines when it comes to nail art or like creating or filming?
Before every mani, I gotta like fully scrub and wash my hands. I hate seeing a tiny fuzz in my videos. Gotta start with super clean slate. The base coats that I use a peel off base coat and then a top coat, like a regular quick dry top coat immediately as the base for pretty much everything that I do. And then they just can be popped off like super,
Oh.
super easy. Yeah.
What does the top coat do?
It makes it like it's Seshevite that I use.
Okay.
It's like one of the pretty popular ones.
Yeah.
Everybody knows about it pretty much. It
What did you
makes
how
it
did you say it?
Seshevite. Is that wrong?
I don't know. I always thought it was Sesh V, but like I don't know if that's
Seshvi.
right.
I don't know.
Tell us down
Uh,
below.
we will have to find out. Yes, please make fun of one of us or both of us so that we can figure this out.
I'm sure everyone says it wrong or a different way.
So it's that one, and it had like dries to this like plasticky consistency. The peel off base coat itself is water based, so when you get your nails wet or like oiled up or whatever, it just like disintegrates, like it kind of dissolves and becomes like this sticky gummy, like it goes back to its wet state before it dried.
Oh.
So that just kind of like slide, like you can peel it off your nail basically. The top coat, whatever that you use between that and your art, kind of makes the barrier firmer so it comes
Yeah.
off in a piece. Like,
Now that you say this, I've definitely painted my nails. The peel off base coat like became liquid again. It was like all like
yeah,
gummy. But like
yeah,
I didn't because like it doesn't happen all the time. Like there's certain brands that I can just do like peel off base coat on my nail, immediately go in with gel and it's fine. But sometimes
yeah,
it kind of like slides around or like the thing gets liquid and it's like a whole thing. So that
yeah,
actually I'm glad I asked honestly because now I'm gonna do that.
yes. It takes a little bit extra time. It's one extra step, but it's way worth it in my opinion. Also, it really helps with staining. Like my nails don't
Oh.
get super stained or like yellowed, which that's not a bad thing either. But I just happened to figure this out a few years ago, realized that if you only use the water based peely coat, base coat,
Mm.
really pigmented polishes will still soak through that to your nail plate and stain it like no other. But with the top coat on between it, it just doesn't bother the nail. Yeah.
What peel off base coat do you use?
It is unt.
Okay.
Hopefully I
You say it like that? Just
uh,
kidding.
you're killing me. Yeah, it's unt. It's that one.
Yeah, no, I use that one too. I feel like that one lasts on me a little bit longer. The Hollow
Yeah.
Taco one pops off immediately.
Really? I haven't
Yeah.
tried that. Do you do it like the whole nail or just like part of it?
I do over the whole nail, which like I don't people are trying to like be like, "Oh, just paint the middle." And I'm like, "Literally, the reason why I do this is because I don't want to put something permanent on my nail. If I
Right.
wanted to put permanent gel on my nail, I would do that. I don't want to have like an edge on my nail that's like gonna rip
Yeah,
off. That is the point of a peel off base coat."
exactly.
So,
If I know I'm going to be taking it off right away, like it's just a swatch or something, then I will coat the whole nail. But if I want it to last a few extra days, then that's when I'll just do the center of the nail. And then it generally lasts a good few days.
yeah. I feel
Yeah.
like the unt will last like 2 days, 3 days on me.
Hmm.
Whereas like the Holo Choco, it's like under 24 hours, which like,
Wow.
but it's kind of nice because like when I'm swatching, I'll use the Holo Choco one so I can like peel it off quickly. Anyway, no one
Yeah.
cares. This is just for swatchers. Our struggles.
It's good information to have. Maybe we're going to
Mm,
help somebody else.
it's true. Also, you have beautiful natural nails and use a lot of gel, which I feel like is not always go hand in
Thank you.
hand.
Thank you.
Do you have tips for like using gel on natural nails?
Yeah, the peel off does help. And I generally don't go all the way to the very back wall of the cuticle. When I first started using gel, I fucked up my cuticles bad, like really bad, because I flooded them thinking that it was not that bad. Like the same deal with regular nail polish. If you flood your cuticle, you can just clean it out afterward. But
Yeah.
I didn't realize, you cure your nail like that with the gel, and then I would be like ripping my cuticles off and skin bits and whatnot. And like, that's just nobody wants that. So, no good there.
How did you learn how to do all this like gel and like all these other like expanded technique?
I just, again, that gay audacity and the ADHD urge, I just kind of picked it up and had to watch videos or yeah, tutorials wherever and kind of figured it out along the way.
I feel that really is a thing, the gay audacity. Cause I'm like, I feel like the gays, I'm like, I'm like, literally, I'm just like, I can do it myself. Like, I know how to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, have I ever made a podcast? No, I can do it though.
If I want it, I'll figure it out.
Exactly. Like, it's not that hard. I think it's like growing up where you're like proving like I'm worthy. I'm like, I'm good. I'm good enough. Like,
Yeah,
so
it does.
anyway,
Yeah.
therapy. Gotta love therapy. Anyway, thank you again for being here. Everybody, please follow Bug Nails if you're not already. Literally amazing sculptures on the nails.
It's true.
So thank you for being here.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Okay. I'll try to link some of the looks we've talked about down below, but honestly, just scroll Bug's page and you'll see what we're talking about. And now for some comments. Cheyenne XO Nail says, since I started listening to your pod, my cuticles have been super hydrated. I need that reminder at the beginning of your video. Works great. Well, I'm glad it's working. This is a reminder for everyone to add cuticle oil. Hannah Nazine says, this was so much fun. I'm not even normally into podcasts, but I had to do it for Michelle. Well, thanks for listening. Carly Klassen says, cat emoji, heart emoji. Talbia PNG says, haven't heard a podcast in a while, but I will 100% be listening to this one. Perfect to listen to while you paint your nails. So leave me a review, 5 stars, or a comment wherever you listen, and I will see you next week.